few weeks ago, I had the wonderful opportunity to feature in the Monocle magazine. This was my first paid job as a model. So I want to talk a little bit about what it's like if you are a model yourself, or you're just new to the industry, or you're looking at getting into the industry. Then this might give you a bit of an idea of what it's actually like to be on set, to be shooting, and to be working with other photographers and models and stylists. Hi. For those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Matty and I'm a male model signed with Wilhelmina in London. I'm also a qualified physiotherapist and personal trainer. So it was just another ordinary day in the life for me, not booking a model job, going to my hospital job, which I didn't really enjoy at the time. Until I got a message from my agent who asked, would I be available as an option? And option doesn't mean you've got the job, by the way. Option is you are being held on option. You might get the job, you might not. They're looking at you, they're considering you for the job. But she asked if I would be available for the following Monday to go and shoot for a Monocle magazine. She texted me the details of the photographer involved, the magazine, and the day rate. And up until that point, I was very used to going to castings. So if you guys don't know, for models, you have to go to castings, which are the equivalent of an acting audition. So you just go there and you tell the casting directors who you are and you take some pictures or a little video or something like that, and they decide whether they want you. You either hear back or you don't. In my case at that time, I hadn't heard back from anywhere, so yeah, that was pretty peak. But for this one, it was a direct booking, potentially a direct booking, where they looked at my profile and they said, oh, we'll hold him on option. Is he available? Literally a day or two later, I was confirmed for the shoot, which is amazing because this was my first job. I've never been confirmed before. When I've been an option, I've always just lost out to someone else. So this was pretty cool. And then fast forward until the Sunday night before the shoot, and I was emailed all the details, the call sheet, where to go, and the other model who was going to be there, as well as the stylist assistant, the stylist, makeup artist. So yeah, this was going to be really exciting. And the location was a rented studio in East London. Most of the studios that photo shoots take place in, even a lot of the castings, take place in East London. That seems to be the hotspot for the fashion world because it's still close enough that you're basically in London, but it's not as expensive as trying to have a shoot in central London, which is expensive to say the least. So on the Monday, I arrived early at the station, at Dalston Central Station, and I was pretty hungry, so I went to McDonald's and got myself a delicious breakfast with a coffee. I'm kind of glad I did that because when I went to the actual location of the shoot where they said breakfast would, they didn't actually say breakfast would be provided, but there was breakfast there, and the breakfast was a bit of fruit and some pastries. The fruit was fine, but I can't eat pastries because I have a dairy intolerance, which is pretty peak. The location was pretty easy to find, and I met the other female model who is actually quite established. I got chatting to her and she'd been in the industry for a while, so I took the opportunity to ask her loads of questions. Turns out that her husband is really good friends with David Gandy, so I was like, that's quite cool. David Gandy was one of my biggest inspirations to get into modeling, although obviously I will never tell him that face to face because, you don't want to be a fanboy, right? I was then introduced to the stylist. She was a lovely Japanese lady, and the photographer and a makeup artist. Then it was time for hair and makeup. Well, not really hair because I don't have any hair, but it was makeup time. And the lady who did my makeup was really nice, and we had a nice conversation about the weather, as per usual. As we always talk about the weather in this country and how rubbish it is. And she also just helped trim any bits of stubble that I had and put foundation and did a bit of skincare, which was really nice. I then dressed myself into the first outfit, which any final touch-ups were done by the stylist, and we did a bit of testing before going straight into the shoot. They wasted no time. And the background was really cool. If I have a picture, I'll put it up, but it wasn't like a white background like normal. It was a orange, like a terracotta orange background, which I think goes quite nicely with my Asian skin. So maybe that was strategic, I don't know, but the coloring popped out. Most of the shots were in motion, so walking, turning. I think one of them was walking, turning, stepping, looking over my shoulder, adjusting clothing, playing with the watch, playing with the lapel, playing with the shirt, playing with glasses. If you're new to modeling, then the secret to getting a good photo is movement, is getting it in a candid. What you don't want to do is be posing. Like if you pose, like you're never gonna get a good photo. It has to be in motion, which is one thing that I learned about modeling very early on. The team was so easy to work with. Like changing the outfits, I went and changed, came back out, and the Japanese lady was really efficient at like straightening things out, adjusting my tie. And before I knew it, the day was over. Well, the day for me was over because I shot first and I finished about 1:30 p.m. They then ordered us lunch, which was really nice of them. So about 1:30, 1:45, lunch came, and it was sushi, which I ate. And then I said my goodbyes to everyone and went home and still managed to get in a really good bench press workout. And I was expecting to be there till 5 p.m. That would have been perfectly reasonable for 9 to 5, but it was half a day's work, and I earned about twice as much as I would have done in a hospital job. But overall, I had a lot of fun, and I didn't feel like it was work, which when I'm working a hospital job, it's back to back, it's stressful. Just a side note to say that I'm no longer working the hospital job, I'm giving it a break for a year, but the hospital job is a lot harder work here, you know, and it's less enjoyable. I've had a lot of questions recently as to how I got into modeling. I've made a video on that and how to apply. I will post links in the description below and at the end of the screen as well. And I've also had questions as to why I decided to get into modeling. Not as many whys, more hows. Very few whens, a few whys. And I never would have considered modeling as a career, ever. I never thought I had the features. I never thought I would. I was just never interested in it. And only in my mid to late 20s, when I was 27, 26, I started online dating. And of course, with online dating, you have to take photos to put on the app so that people know you're a real person. And also, you kind of need photos, right? So my friend, who was a videographer / photographer, very kindly offered to help me get photos for my profile. So we went out to the park, we shot some photos, and he normally takes the piss out of me all the time. When he said to me these photos look really good and that I should consider modeling, I thought he was taking the piss, and so it went in one ear and out the other. Then a few other people said to me that I should consider modeling, again, went in one ear and out the other, until I went to my dad's 60th birthday party, and my mum's friend, who's a fashion designer, said that I should consider modeling, that I look like a male model. At that point, I was like, okay, maybe I'll give this a go. And that's kind of a brief description as to how I got into modeling, but also a little bit of why. The main reason was I thought I could earn a little bit of cash on the side to supplement my physio career, because physios don't get paid that much. Yeah, I know I keep going on about it, but for how hard we work, we don't get paid enough. And I thought it would just add to that, and if it took off, then there would be a different story. But I think a lot of people get into modeling because they think that, I mean, it's the ultimate form of you're attractive, you know, you're good looking enough to be a model, yada yada, you're nice to look at, or look at me. For me, it wasn't really about that. Maybe like a tiny bit. I had that online validation already from my online dating, from my Hinge, getting loads of likes and matches. Like that was nice, but like for me, the modeling was about the money at the start, I'll be honest. And then it quickly changed as I experienced like going to castings, going to test shoots, booking my first jobs, meeting and networking and working with photographers and other creatives and other models. I realized that I thoroughly enjoyed actually modeling, creating art with my body, creating art with the photographs, with the photographers, and I genuinely enjoyed it. Like it didn't feel like work. And that's when I knew that I was gonna pursue this like properly. I was gonna go all in. And the fact that I missed loads of castings last year, which some of them were huge opportunities because I was working a hospital job. So this year I was like, I'm going to take a break from the hospital job. I need to be available 24/7 for anything last minute. I wouldn't consider myself a lucky person. Like I'm not a lucky person, but luck is where preparation meets opportunity. In another definition, luck is where preparation meets opportunity. So if I'm prepared all the time, and then when the opportunity comes along, I'm more likely to get it than if I wasn't prepared and the opportunity came along, if that makes sense. So if you guys are considering modeling, then I mean, I've enjoyed it so far. I think the fashion world is great. There are obviously cons. One of the biggest cons is that at the moment there's not as much work because a lot of the jobs are going to the Nepo babies, but we won't talk too much about that. a lot of the jobs are going to people who aren't necessarily models, but they're people with famous parents, or they've got famous on reality TV, or they have massive social media followings, so they're kind of social media influencer models. And there's definitely a benefit to having a big Instagram, and that's why I'm trying to grow my social media. Obviously that's important to me, but more than anything else, I want to be a model, and the content creator stuff and the influencer stuff is kind of separate. It's where I want to launch my business, separate from modeling. If you're considering modeling, I recommend you do your research, watch videos on YouTube, watch all my videos on modeling because they will help you. If you have any questions, please DM me on Instagram. I would love to help. I would love to share some of my knowledge of what I've experienced so far and what I've learned from other models and model agents. So yeah, comment down below, follow me on Instagram, DM me for specific one-to-one advice, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.
I'm on my own, broken alone. I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found.